talking about the Titans here. The Titans.
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone, and it's gone. It is bedlam at the bank.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Podcast right here. You already know. Go fucking subscribe. Go follow.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Phillies Post Game Show with Eric, Brendan, Dalt, and Ballpark Tommy. Proudly powered by TickPick. Check out the link in the bio for $10 off your first order today. Let's take it to the show.
I don't even know what to say, dude. Tonight's game was absolutely embarrassing. I thought it personally was going to be a shutout. Shout out to Bryce Harper for, coming in clutch probably way too late in the fucking game. We'll talk about that in a few minutes, but I'm pissed off. I know this team honestly can do a lot better than they showed tonight. I know that I'm probably going to butcher his name. Scubal, however you say his name. I know he's the best pitcher in the AL. I know that, he's pretty decent, but I'm pissed off. But Dalt, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, not a pretty one by any means. Definitely an off night for our Philadelphia Phillies, which sucks. But I'll try to look at the glass half full, and I'm sure we'll get to this later. But Shard, rejoice. Your boy is coming back tomorrow, 1:00 against his former team. So I think that, positives are in the horizon. Good things are going to happen for our Philadelphia Phillies soon. And I don't think that a loss like this is something you take lightly. I think that the guys are going to feel this one. And that's the thing I feel like that's pretty normal with this Phillies team. They're usual to win that first game of the series. At least this year, this has been a theme. Win the first game of the series. Usually, a lot of times, if you don't, they've been about 50-50, I would say, in second games from what I've seen. But if they lose the second game, they'll win the third game and bounce back a lot of times, is what I'm trying to say. So I think that they'll do well tomorrow. And even though, you fall flat on your face tonight, Phillies held the 4 hits I'm seeing right now on my television. That's pathetic offensively. So hopefully they'll bounce back tomorrow. But God, yeah, like you said, not what you want to see out of a Philadelphia Phillies team like this any night of the week.
Yeah, Ranger was shaky tonight. He just did not look like himself. The ump was honestly squeezing him in a sense. The zone was really small for the umpire. It wasn't a typical zone in my opinion. And you could kind of tell that Ranger was getting a little pissy with the zone. He wasn't getting the calls that he typically would have gotten called. Like Cozy said here, all good teams do for a bad game. I'm looking at scores now around the league. Like David said here, the Yankees are losing to the Mets. The Orioles are losing to the Guardians, and the Braves game hasn't even started yet because they're in a rain delay, I think, unless it has started. Let me see. No, it's still in a delay, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, Ranger looked absolutely shaky tonight. Looking at his stat line, it looks like he went 6 innings pitched, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. His ERA is still a 2.01. He's still at the top of the NL. And like Dalt was saying the other night, it seems like we have the top 3 NL ERAs. So I believe not Walker. Why are we talking about Walker? He absolutely sucks. But Ranger Suarez is first. Sanchez is second, and then Wheeler is third. Spencer Turnbull is coming back into the rotation tomorrow, but the only thing with that is he doesn't qualify for a starter position. There's some new rules that they established a couple years ago. You have to pitch a certain amount of innings pitched in order to qualify for a starting position. So even though he's coming back to starting, and his ERA is at 2.6 something. If he was a starter, he would be the 4th best starter in the NL. But because he hasn't qualified 4 innings pitched, unfortunately, he's just not in the running for best ERA in the NL. But mark my words, Spencer Turnbull, perfect game tomorrow against his former team. Trust me. Speaking of bets, the one thing I want to fucking talk about, Dalt, because I saw you tweeted earlier, Dave Portnoy fucked us today. I blame him for that loss. He fucked us today.
I'm glad that he came in and kind of gave the bad mojo now. And I was thinking about it when you sent that text because I was like, you're definitely not the only Philly fan that thinks this. Philly fans are notoriously superstitious, and I get it. I'm superstitious too. But I think that the team also needed to see, like, nobody's coming to save you in, like, a lack of a better term. You know what I mean? Like, it's on you guys to win these games. Like, just because Dave Portnoy made a big bet on you doesn't mean you're automatically going to make it to the World Series and win it. Like, there's still a lot of work to do. That's just noise from the outside. Like, what Dave Portnoy does with his money has no effect on you guys. He believes in you. That's what he's saying, but I hope that it doesn't mentally throw off this team. I don't think that it will because, I'm sure that there's been things like this before, and I'm glad that it's happening in June that he makes this bet because he'll just talk shit on it throughout the year, but at least he's not, like, making this bet in, like, September or something. You know what I mean? Putting a lot more pressure. Maybe he'll double down, knock on wood, but.
Right. Cozy, this is actually incorrect. And the only reason it's incorrect is because he won the UConn bet in April, and he won like $2 million on a $600,000 bet. So he placed like 600,000. He won like 2 point something mil. He lost the bet last night with the Oilers and the Panthers. He bet on the Oilers to win, and he lost because the Panthers won the Stanley Cup. I don't really watch hockey. I just know the Panthers won. But other than that, yeah, I mean, he's been on an absolute heater with betting. I don't really bet, so I don't really know. Dalt's kind of our betting guy. So, but
I like his picks. I took UConn,
did he
Boston
Cozy?
Celtics, and then I took UConn, the Celtics, and the Phillies in a 3-leg $5 parlay to win like $1,400, praying that it hits. The cash out right now is disrespectful too. They only want to give me like $100 or $150 on it. Like, bump that number up to 300 and I'll probably walk away and take it. But like at that point, if I have the chance to win $1,000 and see my team win the World Series at the same time, like that's going to be the ultimate feeling that night if that happens. So we'll see. But I do worry just about the outside noise with some of these younger guys, especially like the daycare. I don't think a player like Bryce Harper or Trey Turner, this is going to get in their head. But somebody like, Bryson Stott or Alec Boehm that's kind of newer to the game, they're phenomenal players, but they're maturing before us. So I am a little bit worried if something like that could get to them because they're also that generation that's on their phone a lot more. You know what I mean? Like they grew up with Barstool Sports like we did. So when you hear somebody like Dave Portnoy spends that amount on your team, you're like, holy shit. Maybe to somebody like Bryce Harper, who is his peer, I know that they're friends. They've done the pizza reviews together. We see pictures. But maybe for Bryce Harper, it's a little bit more like, I don't want to say like out of this world or like he's like less of a celebrity to Bryce Harper than some of the younger guys, if that makes sense.
I agree. I think my thing with it is I don't want it to be added pressure. It's like, oh, this big, I guess you can call him a celebrity. I don't know. He's more so an entrepreneur businessman, but I just don't want the pressure of, oh, this guy placed so much money. We kind of have to up our ante, So, I mean, I get what you're saying. We'll see what happens. We'll probably be on for the next.
I was going to say a little bit, Cozy. You're all good to run to the store. We appreciate you for tuning in. Just slap that like button, man. All that little stuff helps us. We appreciate you.
Yeah, but going off of what I said, I don't want it to be added pressure. I mean, I feel like they have a lot on their plate already. I mean, you're the best in the NL right now. You're the best in the MLB right now. They have the best pitching staff right now. it's just like there's a lot of factors that's putting pressure on them, and they're living up to the expectations. They're living up to the pressure. I don't want to see them get into kind of like a rut. So
Yeah. Any rut is a bad rut. Yeah. That's yeah. They don't need any more of them because I'm sure that unfortunately we're gonna hit another one at some point. That's just baseball. So any more than that are gonna just happen, we don't need to run into, especially for stupid shit like this off the field. Just like
yeah,
a businessman, like you said, spending his money, maybe doing some dumb shit, maybe doing some smart shit. I'm gonna be fucking pissed though if they end up like losing because like I did this bet first. So it's almost like I wish I marked my fucking territory. Like I'm a true Philly fan. So like it's like, okay, I hit UConn. The Celtics were kind of expected. Like everybody kind of knew that. And it was like $5
Celtics
I
had an
put on
easy
it.
fucking run. They had an
Yeah,
easy-
that was easy. The Phillies though, I knew was kind of stacking it. But if like we end up losing and like it's in like game 6 or game 7 of the World Series, I'm probably gonna end up blaming it on Portnoy. Because I know he's gonna be running his fucking mouth at that point. He's going to be at Citizens Bank Park with a cigar in a Phillies jersey, like bad mojo. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
yeah.
probably. We'll see what happens. I mean, like people in the comments were saying, he's been kind of on a heater lately, so hopefully his heater continues. But the one positive that I do want to say, because the rest of the show is just going to be fucking negatives, but Bryce Harper, seems like Bryce Harper lately, every time that we need a run, every time we need some kind of light at the end of the tunnel, it seems like Bryce is there. When a Philly fan dies, you're just going to see Bryce's face at the end of the tunnel. So, but yeah, he hit a late single home run towards the end of the game. It was a little too late. It was in the 9th inning. It kind of gave them, a little bit of hope. Maybe they could have rallied, but like it just when you hit a home run so late in the game, I feel like all hope is kind of lost. I feel like the team was just ready to honestly give up. As a player, I mean, your motivation's probably gone. But like he's putting up MVP numbers right now. He's carrying the team. He's showing why, he deserves that MVP. Because even in the beginning of the game, he hit, I believe, a double to kind of almost score a run. I think Trey stopped at third, which I don't know why he stopped at third there. So it is what it is. Bryce Harper, absolute beast. I hope he wins an MVP because, like I said last night, he's doing it all. He's playing first base. He's hitting. I think he's like right behind Shohei for standings, but like Shohei is only batting. He's not pitching. If Shohei was pitching, I could understand an MVP award, but he's not.
Yeah, and Bryce has just been like what's nice about the Phillies is Bryce is usually that guy, but for the most part, I would say for this team, yeah, it's Bryce right now, but everybody has found a time that it's been them. You know what I mean? It was Marsh a little bit in the beginning of the year. Bohm had a little bit there. And Bohm's, not that guy anymore. But the one thing I wanted to say is besides Bryce Harper tonight, it felt like everybody on the bat, especially in the 9th inning, just was doing dumb shit. Like early swings, not kind of watching the ball through, like just making decisions earlier than they needed to. And like as a fan, that's frustrating. It's like, hey, like let this game develop, like let your offense develop. Like they blew out there. And this is the perfect lower third. So props to you, Sharp, because I mean, it was like middle school shit. Bryce Harper said last night, it was like little league out there. It was like little league out there again tonight with some of these batters' eyes just swinging too early. And you're a veteran. It's the end of the game. I think you need to let things develop a little bit more, and you don't need to be swinging on first pitches.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said earlier, Skubal, again, I probably butchered his name, whatever. He's a really nasty pitcher. He's one of the best in the AL right now. I think his ERA is like a 2.3. So again, he's like top 5 pitcher AL. And I knew it was going to be more so an offensive struggle for both teams. I mean, Rangers number 1 in the NL, number 1 in the MLB. They're both lefties, so like our guys kind of struggle a little bit against lefties. Looking at his stat line, Skubal he went 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 walk, 7 Ks. And then like everybody after that, Miller came in after Skubal. He went 1 innings pitched, let up no hits, 1 K. And then Foley after that, he let up the home run, but like that's it. So I mean, like, and I want to talk about this in a second because I have a solution to the problem. But like, I thought it was going to be a shutout, honestly, and I'm surprised. I guess the good thing is it wasn't a shutout, because if it was, we never hear the end of it from MLB, ESPN, Braves fans, Mets fans. So like,
That is true.
That's good that we didn't get shut out. And again, good teams lose. I mean, again, the Yankees are good. They're getting absolutely beat by the Mets right now. It's 9-1. The Orioles are a good team. They're getting beat by Cleveland. It's 10-8. So, I mean, like, again, good teams lose. It happens. I think tomorrow, honestly, I think Turnbull is going to come on the mound and show why he deserves that starter position, because this is a chance for him to show that he belongs in that starting position.
Yeah, they need to recognize that and see what he brings to the team besides just, being that, kind of rotation guy that they like to use him as before. This guy came in and did everything that the team asked him to do and then some. And then they took him out and put Taijuan Walker over him. It's a slap in the face.
What's that? There's like a picture. I forget what it is. It's like a meme, but it has Turnbull's face, and it's like, you chose him over me.
That is true. I think of that, or now that you bring up memes, I think of when there's the guy with the girl and he's looking, and that's Phillies fans at literally, you know what I mean, at Turnbull over Walker, because just we knew, you guys said it, especially you and Brendan on this show. We all said it, but especially you two were like, I don't want Walker coming into this rotation. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it just threw this whole team off, pitching wise, not as a team, I should say, but pitching wise, when he would come in the rotation, things get fucked up. So I'm really happy that he's out now. And I hope that the whole team just kind of like rallies behind Turnbull tomorrow as a result of it. And like wants to show Philly Rob, wants to show management, like, hey, this is why this guy, like you said, deserves to be a starter.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. Like I said, I think I'm going to have high expectations. It'd be funny if Turnbull goes against his former team and throws a perfect game. Knock on wood, it probably won't happen. I think he'll still be dominant. I think he'll show, again, why he deserves the starting rotation job. I know when we were at the game last time, like we were chirping and yelling and screaming, that Turnbull should have been in the rotation.
Yeah, that guy got so pissed.
I know we started a chant and it got recognized on Twitter. So like, is what it is. But yeah, I think honestly, what they need to do is, depending on Turnbull's stat line tomorrow, and even if he starts again in a week, because I know Walker's on the 15-day IL right now, look at the next start or two, compare that to, how Walker has been, and then go from there. They called up, I think his name is Mercado, yesterday. They'll probably use him again tomorrow, I would assume, maybe to close. I want to see what he can do too. Again, I mean, if he's dominant, again, at the trade deadline, see if anybody wants Walker's contract. Or, you just, I don't know, you wait until the end of the season and you make it an off-season thing. But, like, he's just, I can't with Walker anymore. I just can't.
Yeah, thank God he is gone.
Yeah, but the one thing I do want to say, and we're going to kind of start wrapping up here, I think we need to trade. I really do. I think we need some kind of outfielder bat, maybe. I know, I'm trying to look for the comment here. I know Cozy, which I know he had to run to the store. I know Cozy said, fuck outfielder. We need to get another pitcher and closer. I agree to an extent. I don't think we need a starting pitcher. I do think we need a closer for sure. I think we need somebody like Craig Kimbrell last year before he was absolute dog shit, coming in and closing games. I mean, look at what he's doing for Baltimore. He comes in maybe, 2 days in a row and he's closing. So I feel like, yes, we need that again. We need some guy that we can rely on to come in and close games. But again, I also think you need some kind of outfield bat, whether it's Luis Robert Jr., whether it's whoever you want to go out and get, because the bottom of this lineup just sucks. It's absolutely abysmal. And I'm going to pull up the stat line here and share my screen because I want people to see this. But like, look at the stat line. look at the stat line. Castellanos 0 for 4, Sosa 0 for 3, Stott when he pinch hit 0 for 1, 0 for 3, 0 for 3, 0 for 3. Like, nobody hit today, but like the bottom of this lineup just sucks. It sucks. I knew as soon as they put Merrifield and Pache in this lineup, like, we were gonna lose because Merrifield just sucks. Merrifield's absolutely terrible. Pache is absolutely terrible. I know with Pache, you're trying to get him more at bats. You're trying to get him more comfortable. I get that. It's not working. Same with Merrifield. It's not working. As a manager, Rob needs to look back and be like, okay, we're halfway through the season. This is when we need to start locking in, getting these wins, so that way we can get to the postseason, which I still think they're going to get to the postseason anyway. I think, right now they're on pace for between 90 and 100 wins. I see that. Whether or not they get the number 1 seed, that's another story. All depends on how they play. But again, I think you need to just, at this point, find a lineup that works, stick with it. I know Marsh has sucked since his injury. I know Stott has sucked since he had his daughter. I don't want to talk shit on that because, again, I mean, like, you had your daughter. That's great. But at the same time, it seems like it's just another thing. I guess it's an excuse. I don't want to shit talk on that because that's just not what I'm trying to do. But again, it's just an outside factor, if that makes sense. That makes sense, Bill?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's not like something that he can control, but I'm glad it's happening now too. Like, once again, like, he'll be I would hope, a seasoned dad 2 months from now, like with a newborn baby. You know what I mean? It's all still very new, and you can speak on that more than me. The first 6 months, I'm sure, of parenthood are not easy at all. So I could definitely see him going through that a little bit. But I think he'll figure it out. I think this team will figure it out. I think Philly Rob is my biggest fear, if he'll figure it out, because like when he's in tune, I think is one of the best managers in baseball. It's just when he does dumb shit that it pisses us all off. And I'm like you said, Pache, I understand the concept, trying to get the kid experience, trying to get him a little bit better, especially as we go later into the year. So you know what you have, figure it out. But you got to start making those crucial decisions right now. Like you said, Shard, as a manager, and locking in is the perfect way to describe it, because it's going to be September before we know it. Like, I'm realizing that right now. This whole year has flown by. June, it's already June. I can't believe it was just March. So that's like, 3 months. And 3 months from now, it's going to be the end of September. It's going to be October. And I don't know. It would be pretty cool to see Dave Portnoy here, because I'm going to fucking yell at him if he comes here. Like, that's what I'm in it for, the content. Like, I'm like, take that fucking hat off, you fake fan, or something like that.
He's a Boston fan, I'm pretty sure.
I think he's a Red Sox fan. I think so. I know Celtics, Bruins, so I would assume he's a Red Sox fan.
I know he's a New England fan.
Yeah, so I would assume. But if he's like decked out in a Phillies hat and Phillies jersey, and if I fucking see him, you best believe I'm calling that dude out on it. It's going to be a fun time, I think, though, to be a Philly fan this October. And I said that on Sippin' Sports this Saturday too, I think. But like, if all goes well, like it is right now for Philly sports, it's going to be a fun October, man.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. The way I look at it is, okay, let's theoretically say they win 100 games. That's still 62 losses. So, like, we're only at 27 right now. So, I mean, that's still
halfway through
10,
the year
20,
too.
30. It's like 30-something more losses.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, I mean, like, again, shit happens. It's a long season. I think, honestly, at the trade deadline, which I think the deadline is August 1st. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I think, honestly, they're going to get rid of Pache. I think they might try to trade Witt. I think you might get rid of one of your prospects. You didn't spend all this money that you were going to spend on Yamamoto. Take that money, go out, get some guys you need, and go from there. Fill the spots that you can see, lock it down, go on a postseason run, win the World Series, bring the trophy back to Philly.
I think it sounds like a great plan to me.
But yeah, I mean, again, we'll see what happens. It's a long season. We're about halfway through. Yeah, and I think before we end it, for anybody watching, the one thing that I was going to say is phase 1 of All-Star voting ends tomorrow. I think Bohm and Harper are leading right now. And I think there's a lot of players, honestly, in the running to start. I think, honestly, if we stuff the ballot, this could be a record start for Phillies on an all-star team. So definitely go in and get your votes. But that's all we have for you guys tonight. Phillies lose 4-1 to the Detroit Tigers. Tomorrow's game is a 1:10 game, so I'll be here. I'll figure out who else is going to be
Unless it goes into the fucking 13th inning.
Yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Turnbull's on the mound. Again, I think he's going to have a good outing. He'll probably let up a run or two. We'll see what happens, but we'll be here tomorrow. So on that note, everybody have a good night, and we're going to roll the outro. See you guys.
The Vikings!
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone! And it's gone! It is Bedlam at the bank!
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.